I'm Amanda, and I had bariatric surgery. I have been overweight for a really long time, and when I thought about it at the seminar, one of the kind of questions that they ask on the form is, how long have you been overweight? And I had to put 20 years because I got overweight in middle school. I had a traumatic event happen, and I started emotionally eating. And when I saw that I had spent more time being overweight than I had been healthy, it really put that in perspective for me. Do I want to spend another 20 years struggling with weight? I've gone up and down. I've used other weight loss methods. I did try pills that were prescribed by a doctor. I didn't join Weight Watchers, but I tried some of their systems, and I think it's a good program. I think it can work for a lot of people. But I think when you're like I was at least 150 pounds overweight. That's hard to do really, really slowly. And it's hard to do every day without assistance. I just knew that I didn't want to spend more time being overweight and being unhealthy. One of the things that really hit me was I went to the fair, and I pretty much could not ride any of the rides. I had tried the year before, and I weighed a little less, and it was very uncomfortable. A lot of the belts, just wouldn't fit. And, I was able to do it, but I felt really uncomfortable and very unsafe, actually. My sister had gone with her kids to on a zipline adventure. And I thought, well, that would be so much fun for me and Kathleen to go on. She's 15, we'd be, great. And I went on their website, and I was too heavy to be able to go on it. And that was really disappointing too. Last winter, I tried ice skating, and it was terrible. I could not stay on the skates, and I felt like I was gonna fall. And I think partially it was my ankles, and trying to support the weight. It just did not work. So I quickly gave the skates to Kathleen, and I said, you go have fun. And I did that a lot. And, just said, well, you guys go play. You guys go outside. You guys go do stuff. There's just little things that you can't do when you're significantly overweight that you can when you're thinner. I don't want my kids to see me on the sidelines all the time. Well, my mom can't do that. And I don't want them, not that they are like this, but I don't want them to be embarrassed to be around me. I think it's important when you have something that's a specialized procedure that you go to a specialist. You go to someone who's only doing these procedures or only involved in this area. I liked doing it here in Petoskey because it was local, and I've always had a good experience with the hospital. And I also read the literature on them, and they've been doing it, it seems they've been doing it longer than most other places, even in the country. And they have a big history of a great rate of success and a lot of very happy patients. It was reassuring to me that this group focused on weight loss, focused on helping people with this specific issue. And they offer a lot of follow-up. They offer a lot of steps before you have surgery to make sure that you're mentally, physically, and emotionally able to handle the procedure, and that you're willing to make the necessary changes. I felt like when I had surgery, I wouldn't get out of the hospital and then be on my own, adrift. I felt like I could have any questions answered, if I had any issues with food or questions about the procedure, that I had someone that I could call. I had follow-up appointments where we talked about what kind of foods you should eat, what kind of foods to avoid, and what changes that you really need to make it in the long run. But you have to make those changes. You just can't expect to go back to your bad habits. And so I think that's important, and I think that's why they have us talk to not just the nutritionalist, but a behavioralist too, to make sure that we're able to change our behaviors and change our lifestyle to reflect what we'd like to see. And I try to consistently think about the choices I'm making and the choices that I'm giving to my family, because I do have kids and I want them to make healthy choices and never have to go through what I had to go through. I want them to be healthy, and I want them to see me making healthy choices. I had the surgery August 29th, and I it's been about 6 months, and I'm down between 85 and 90 pounds. It kind of fluctuates a little bit. And I am so excited. The only thing I really regret is, first of all, letting myself get so heavy and letting myself fall into really bad habits, and allowing food to really become a focus for my emotional output. And instead of dealing with the feelings of feeling unattractive or overweight, I just ate. And that's like almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's like you feel bad about yourself because you're overweight, so you eat, and then you become more overweight, so you feel worse. And the thing that I regret about, specifically with the surgery, is not doing it sooner. I wish that I would have done it 5 years ago. Although I'm glad I waited, because then I could do it here where I have a lot more support. I was very reassured by the qualifications of the surgeons and of the staff here. I felt like they had everything I needed to prepare me for doing this. Be sure that you want to make a lifestyle change, that you are committed to losing weight, to becoming healthy. And it's not a just fix. You don't just, like I said, you don't just wake up after surgery, jump for joy and go, oh, I'm all done, and the weight just comes off. You do have to eat right. You do have to take the vitamins. You do have to, think about nutrition and what you are putting in your body. And if you're not serious about that, then I wouldn't do it. I don't think it's something you should be ashamed of or worried about what people think. I think you need to look at yourself, and if you can do it using willpower, diet, and exercise, then try that. If you can't, then I think it's a great option for people who have struggled with weight loss for a long time and need more assistance. I want the real me to come through, and I don't want to be self-conscious about who I am. And I'm not, but I'm also know that I feel better physically, mentally, emotionally when I weigh less. When you meet somebody, the first thing you notice about them is their weight. And I didn't want that to be the first thing anybody noticed about me anymore. I wanted them to see like a person who's fun, who's engaged in life, and who's healthy. I highly recommend it to everybody. I talk about it all the time at work. I talk about it to people, when they ask me, wow, what are you doing? Well, I had surgery, and then I changed my lifestyle, and I'm eating better, and I'm exercising. But I always tell them here because I couldn't have done it alone. I tried, and for 20 years I failed. And now I'm so glad I did it, and I don't think I'd change anything.
All right, grab that green rope.